Fox video shows Heche pop up disoriented while she's wrapped in a white cloth following this crash.
I'm not here to do any Ellen bashing. I am here to speak the truth about a time that happened that's important to know.
What if the most dangerous piece of evidence in Hollywood history isn't a leaked contract or a hidden document, but a single roll of film that simply ceased to exist? For over 25 years, a whisper has echoed through the backlots of major studios and the offices of high-powered publicists about a recording so volatile it had to be scrubbed from the archives of one of the biggest entertainment news shows on the planet. We're talking about the infamous 1998 interview featuring Anne Heche, a moment in time where a rising star allegedly reached her breaking point, and the industry's response was to make sure the world never saw it. This isn't just about a celebrity having a bad day. This is about a systemic erasure that changed the trajectory of a career and set the stage for what Anne herself would later call the birth of cancel culture.
Remember Anne Heche?
This video showing the woman on a stretcher flailing and, according to neighbors, screaming at the time. Authorities say she suffered burns and was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Yeah, she passed away.
She did. She'd been involved with Ellen DeGeneres. They'd broken up, but apparently Anne Heche was uncovering this incredible pedophile ring.
By understanding how human trafficking really works, you can make a difference in the life of someone at risk. Call the National Human Trafficking Hotline.
And so, well, this is what it says here, that cannibal Ellen DeGeneres ate Anne Heche after murdering her.
Now investigators have confirmed that after Anne's death, Ellen pulled strings to claim her body, storing it in a mansion freezer like some kind of relic. Over the years, Ellen allegedly consumed parts of Anne in deliberate occult ceremonies.
To understand why this missing tape is so significant, you have to look back at the climate of 1997. At that time, Anne Heche was on the verge of becoming the biggest actress in the world. She was starring opposite legends like Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. She was the industry's new it girl, but then she did something that, in the late 90s, was considered professional unaliving. She walked onto the red carpet of the Volcano premiere holding hands with Ellen DeGeneres. Today, that's a Tuesday morning on Instagram. In 1997, it was a seismic event that sent studio executives into a blind panic. Anne would later reveal that her own representation told her point blank that if she took Ellen to that premiere, her contract with Fox would be terminated and she would never work in a major studio film again. She did it anyway, and the fallout was immediate. This was the pressure cooker she was living in when she sat down for that fateful, now missing interview.
Once you moved to New York, where you've basically been gainfully employed ever since? You've probably taken
it's kind
a
of amazing, other than my blacklisting for taking Ellen DeGeneres to the Volcano premiere years ago, and I didn't do a studio picture for 10 years. People don't know that part of my story or what happened to me because of that experience. But I feel very blessed that I've been able to be working for. Tuesday was her coming out episode of The Ellen Show. Mm-hmm. Wednesday was the press junket for Volcano. Thursday was the opening of Volcano. I took Ellen. We were told that my contract for Fox would be distinguished and I would be fired, and that the movie that I had just met Harrison Ford on wouldn't hire me. And we went to the premiere, and these are the stories that I know people don't know. We went to the premiere, we were tapped on the shoulder, put into our limo in the third act, and told that we couldn't have pictures taken of us.
The year was 1998, and Anne was in the middle of a high-stakes press junket for the romantic adventure 6 Days, 7 Nights. On paper, this was her crowning achievement, a leading role alongside Harrison Ford. But the media wasn't interested in the movie. They were interested in the scandal. They wanted to know about the woman who had defied the silent laws of Hollywood. According to veteran producer Pat O'Brien, who was there for the recording, the atmosphere was already thick with tension before the cameras even started rolling. Anne was reportedly guarded, feeling the weight of an industry that was actively looking for a reason to discard her. The interview was intended to be a standard promotional piece, the kind of fluff that fills the airwaves on nightly entertainment shows. But as the clock ticked, the questions drifted away from the tropical set of her movie and into the dark corners of her personal life.
Well, here's the thing. When I came to Hollywood, they said it was like a wild animal set free from her cage. I'm not sure if that was a compliment. But I didn't want to ask, so I didn't. I figured I had a 50-50 shot. The thing about me was that I did everything so differently than anybody else that they couldn't help but pay attention. And that's kind of what began happening for the movies. Well, along with that, what went in my life was, oh wow, I'm really getting these great roles. So Speed comes along.
Spark that allegedly caused caused the explosion. For years, there had been quiet murmurs in the tabloids about Anne's relationship with her co-star, Vince Vaughn. While the world knew her as Ellen's partner, the industry's rumor mill was pushing the narrative of a secret off-screen romance between the two leads of 6 Days, 7 Nights. It was a classic showmance, with a dangerous twist given Anne's public identity. During the interview, a question was allegedly posed to Anne about the nature of her closeness with Vaughn. According to those who claim to have seen the footage, the reaction was immediate and visceral. Anne didn't just decline to answer. She reportedly experienced a total emotional collapse right there in the chair. The it girl facade shattered, replaced by the raw, unfiltered anger of a woman who felt hunted by the very people who were supposed to be promoting her.
Loves it. Loves
you know
it.
What I mean, listen, if we stop this story, if we don't talk about what's going on, if people don't tell the truth, then we don't learn anything. We can't have any conversation. That's what happened 20 years ago. Nobody asked the questions. So what's happening when we're canceling people is that we're, denying the opportunity to get to know and learn from them.
Right, right.
And then what? How does that further us? So that's part of the.
What happened after the camera stopped is where the story gets truly dark. Reports suggest a heated confrontation broke out behind closed doors, involving Anne's publicist and members of the production crew. There was yelling, there were demands, and there was a desperate attempt to control the narrative. In the world of 1990s Hollywood, a star losing control on camera was a liability that studios couldn't afford, especially one that was already considered risky by the suits in the corner offices. The interview was never aired, but more strangely, the physical tape, the actual reel of film containing the footage, allegedly vanished from the Entertainment Tonight vaults. In an era where every frame of celebrity interaction is archived and backed up, the complete disappearance of a high-profile interview is almost statistically impossible. It suggests an intentional act of deletion, a high-level scrub meant to protect the interests of the powerful players involved.
And it's a vulnerable feeling. So a lot is being unpacked, as you've said. And so I want to be delicate in my answer and also let everyone know that I'm not here to do any Ellen bashing. I am here to speak the truth about a time that happened that's important to know.
Okay. Did you ever try to reach out and make peace with Ellen?
You know, every day of my life with her was reaching out to her.
But why would the industry go to such lengths to bury this specific tape? If it was just a star having a meltdown, that's usually gold for tabloid television. The theory that has persisted for decades is that the tape contained revelations that didn't just threaten Anne's career, but potentially exposed the toxic inner workings of how studios manipulated the private lives of their talent. There is speculation that Anne's reaction wasn't just about a rumor, but about the systemic harassment she was facing from executives who were trying to correct her public image. If she had named names or detailed the threats she was receiving, that footage would have been a nuclear weapon in the hands of the public. By making the tape disappear, the industry wasn't just protecting Anne's reputation, they were protecting their own.
They tried to erase it. Every frame, every file, every witness. But the child trafficking documentary Anne Heche died for survived. It's called Children of the Machine, and it's being completed right now, piece by piece, against every attempt to silence it. What she uncovered was never just about Hollywood. It was bigger, much bigger. Behind the red carpets and the talk show smiles lies a network, ancient, untouchable, and global. And at the centre of that web was a name nobody expected, Ellen DeGeneres. Anne's former partner, America's former talk show host darling, isn't just entertainment royalty, she's blood. A distant relative of King Charles, with ties to the British elite far closer than anyone ever imagined. There's a reason she moved to England last year, and it wasn't to disappear. It was to return to the source of the sickness. Anne Heche was following that trail. Before she was executed on live TV, she found the links between fame, power, and the ancient dynasties who still pull the strings from the shadows. When she drew too close to the truth, as Diana once did, they silenced her permanently. But now her work has resurfaced, the original footage, the files they swore were destroyed. An undercover team of investigators, journalists, and editors has taken up her cause, rebuilding the documentary piece by piece. And we're with them, finishing what Anne started. It's raw, it's dangerous, it's real. And it's going to blow the lid off the elite paedophile ring and change the world forever. We're the same team that broke the original Pizzagate investigation before the media hijacked the story. We're the ones who decoded Podesta's emails, who interviewed Justin Bieber when he tried to warn the world about the system that nearly destroyed him. They blacklisted us, silenced us, tried to erase us. but we're still here. And this is the story that will make sense of everything and change the world as we know it. Today, you'll see the evidence with your own eyes. You'll hear from insiders who experienced the horrors, and the producers' bodyguards and assistants who finally decided to talk. Their testimonies, their recordings, their truth. All you need to do is subscribe to this account right now and be one of the first to witness the recovered footage, to see the truth they killed to hide.
For years, Ellen's global brand was built on two simple words: be kind. But behind the curtain of the bright studio lights and dancing daytime audiences, a much darker reality was allegedly festering in the shadows. The image of the lighthearted, generous host began to crack when a wave of accusations surfaced, painting a picture of a workplace fueled by fear, intimidation, and systemic toxicity. Former staffers detailed an environment where basic human interaction was reportedly restricted, including a notorious no eye contact rule, and where top producers allegedly engaged in patterns of misconduct and racial insensitivity while the cameras were off. It wasn't just about a few unhappy employees. It was an exposed ecosystem where kindness was treated as a marketable product rather than a workplace standard. This massive disconnect between the bubbly public persona and the reported backstage turmoil didn't just tarnish a legacy. It effectively dismantled a daytime empire, proving that even the most carefully curated images can't survive the weight of a hidden, unfiltered truth.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And then we're like, whoa,
yeah.
Can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a monster.
Portia de Rossi has stood by Ellen's side for nearly 20 years, portraying the image of the perfect Hollywood power couple. But behind that polished exterior, sources say a fracture has been growing for years, rooted in a discovery so disturbing that it changed the way Portia viewed her marriage forever. We are talking about a system where youth isn't just celebrated, it's harvested. A system where the elite believe that vitality can be transferred from the young to the old through practices that sound like they belong in a horror movie rather than a California mansion. But as the legal walls begin to close in on the power players of the world, the truth is finally bubbling to the surface.
Ellen DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals that show up across the investigative materials. You know, flight logs, communications, third-party interviews, peripheral records.
She believed consumption was transformation, that youth could be taken in, that vitality could be absorbed. She talked about ancient rites, about elites throughout history who understood what the masses didn't. There was a separate kitchen on her property, stainless steel, private entrance, no security cameras inside.
We live in an age where the line between science fiction and reality is blurring, especially when it comes to the longevity industry. In Silicon Valley, billionaires are openly investing in startups that research young blood plasma transfusions, a practice sometimes referred to as ambrosia. They believe that by infusing the blood of the young into the old, they can reverse the aging process. While the public version of this science is heavily regulated and often met with skepticism, the black market version is where the real horror lies. The rumors of extraction involve the harvesting of biological materials from young bodies, specifically during moments of intense fear or trauma. The theory, which has been whispered about in elite circles for decades, is that the body produces certain compounds during these moments that have a rejuvenating effect on whoever consumes them. This is the dark truth behind the treatments on Epstein Island and the ancient rites that Ellen allegedly described to her wife. It's a belief that youth isn't just a phase of life, but a substance that can be taken and used by those with enough power and money.
Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, and, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
This explains the obsession with youth in Hollywood that goes far beyond vanity. It's not about looking good for the cameras, it's about a literal biological thirst for vitality. When Portia allegedly witnessed the preparations in that stainless steel kitchen, she wasn't looking at a chef, she was looking at the end result of a global supply chain of human resources. The science is real, the demand is high, and the people at the top of the pyramid have spent a lifetime ensuring the public never knows where the ingredients for their vitality actually come from. But as more whistleblowers come forward, the curtain is finally being pulled back on this biological gold mine.
There was a separate kitchen on the property, stainless steel, private entrance, no security cameras inside.
Curious how the stars keep their glow and their homes A-list ready? I've handpicked the top-rated skincare, home, and wellness essentials favored by Hollywood's elite in my official Amazon storefront. Click the link in my description to shop the Celeb Curio collection today. But as the files became public, the spotlight began to shift from the convicted predators to the mainstream celebrities who allegedly helped keep their dark world spinning.
There was also a lot of language that appears to be coded regarding food. I wanted to let you know the crew really appreciated the pizza. Another email read, "This is better than a Chinese cookie, see attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again." This one talks about, yeah, that's the pizza. You mean radiating a soft glow with a look of bliss and excitement. There's one more, I think, in this list as well. Sorry, I have no stomach for even the slightest aggro. I don't have the stomach for it for any drama, imaginary or real. I'm still fragile off the last one and scared of shadows. This is in response to some videos that were shared where Jeffrey Epstein himself says, I watched all of these videos, don't send any more. And then Ghislaine is like, I can't stomach any of this. What the fuck did you send? That Jeffrey Epstein was like, no more.
While nothing was ever proven in a court of law, the allegations claimed she smoothed over introductions, connected powerful people with young talent, and helped keep the industry's most sinister secrets completely quiet. When the Epstein files broke the internet, people were absolutely shocked to see how many beloved, family-friendly celebrities were deeply entrenched in a world of private islands and offshore bank accounts. The contrast between a host demanding her audience be kind while allegedly rubbing shoulders with disgraced financiers was a tough pill to swallow. But just when the public thought the allegations couldn't get any weirder, a brand new theory took over the internet, and it involved a rumor so disturbing it sounds like something straight out of a horror movie.
Earlier, I'll give you another example here. Epstein sends a message to someone. She looks pregnant, reacting to a photo, and the client replies back to Epstein, "You mean radiating a soft glow with the look of bliss and excitement? Yeah, that's the pizza." I cannot be clearer than this, that this is a code word. It makes no sense in that context whatsoever. And this probably the example I gave you earlier, when his neurologist gave him the medicine for having an erection, erectile dysfunction, I assume, or it could be even Viagra, and then told him to wash his hands, go have pizza and grape soda. Has been mentioned time and time again. Having adult men, successful men that are very health oriented, constantly talk about pizza with grape soda, which I've never heard before.
Yeah, I've never heard of pizza and grape soda before this. I don't know if that specific combination was part of the whole Pizzagate thing, but it's definitely mentioned a lot because I saw that phrase, so I looked it up and was like, is this actually like in there multiple times? And it most definitely is.
There's another one here. Have you seen the beef jerky mentioned as well? There's an email here from Jeffrey Epstein. Someone else says, Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky, anyone? He will also bring you a taste of his jerky recipe from the restaurant and sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called Coop's. Wait for it, beef jerky and steak. Yes, time at 3 p.m. There's other emails of him talking about beef jerky. Another one here Jeffrey Epstein sending it to Steve Hansen saying, hope you're feeling better. Did we analyze the beef? Did you analyze the jerky? Now there's talks about jerky, referencing human meat. It could be for scientific research, it could be something else that's even sicker. But there's more emails here talking about beef jerky. Have you had time to go through those? There's one here, thank you so much, super cool. IT guy setting up Surface right now. We are ridiculously excited, and beef jerky delicious. Thank you, Thanksgiving. So yeah.
It is very. Now I've got all those emails saved. I'd actually had somebody send to me all of those to say, hey, would you check this out? So I have them. I have not read through all of them, but there's no shortage of terms that are phrased in a peculiar way. Muffin is another one. I've seen that a couple of times. I talked about when he says whoops, that seems to be in very sometimes he says that in very odd terms that seem like they're referring to somebody dying or getting. So there definitely seem to be code words.
By the summer of 2020, the carefully crafted illusion of the happy, dancing daytime show completely imploded. The pressure wasn't just coming from crazy internet theories anymore. It was coming from inside the building. 36 former employees spoke out in a massive, explosive expose, detailing a work environment so toxic it left people with severe anxiety and trauma. The claims were absolutely brutal. Staffers alleged rampant harassment, intimidation, and severe misconduct from the top down. But the most revealing details were about the host herself. Former crew members described what they called the Queen's gaze. They claimed that when she was upset, her eyes would physically narrow, her cheekbones would tighten, and she would look at you like a monarch deciding your execution. The turnover rate for male employees was allegedly staggering, with one crew member claiming the show went through 9 different stage managers in a single season. There was an unspoken rule that you were not allowed to look the host in the eye if you passed her in the hallway. Comedian Margaret Cho later added fuel to the fire, claiming she had known the host for years from their early stand-up days, but when Cho appeared as a guest on the talk show, she was treated like an absolute stranger. Cho also revealed a deeply petty story involving the late rock legend David Bowie. Bowie apparently had spent time praising Cho's outfit during his segment, and out of sheer spite, the host completely cut that portion from the final broadcast. The hypocrisy was deafening. The woman who built a billion-dollar brand on the phrase "be kind" was allegedly ruling her studio with an iron fist. The studio launched an investigation, executives were fired, and the host delivered a tearful apology on air, but the audience never really came back. The spell was broken. Yet the toxic workplace was only the tip of the iceberg, because the company she kept off the clock was about to catch up with her in a major way.
Hedda Muscat worked on The Ellen Show back in 2003.
Phony, liar, hypocrite. That's my reaction. She's known about this for 17 years. She's created this culture. I was there from day one. We were all petrified of her. She was not nice.
It started with a completely bizarre interview featuring Chrissy Teigen, a model and longtime friend of the daytime elite. During a casual conversation, she was asked a highly unusual question about whether she would ever be open to eating human flesh. Instead of laughing it off or calling the question crazy, she doubled down. She flat out stated that if the person okayed it, she would absolutely try it.
Actually, nothing I wouldn't eat or wouldn't drink or wouldn't try. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Is that terrible?
The story of the lost tape isn't just about a missing piece of footage. It's a reflection of how the industry can effectively erase a human being the moment they stop being convenient. Heche spent her final days trying to reclaim a narrative that was stolen from her decades ago, leaving us all to wonder how many other truths are currently buried in the vaults of the powerful. Whether it was the systemic toxicity behind the scenes or the whispers of elite connections that finally broke the be kind facade, one thing is certain: the curtain has been pulled back, and what's behind it is far darker than anyone expected. But what's your take on this? Do you believe that tape is still sitting in a private collection somewhere, or was it destroyed to keep the industry's secrets safe? Let us know your theories in the comments, because this conversation is only just getting started. If you want to stay ahead of the next big deep dive and uncover the secrets Hollywood tries to bury, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. You won't want to miss what we're digging into next. Click the video on your screen to see another shocking Hollywood mystery exposed, and we'll see you over there.